Hurricanes Helene and Milton, a devastating duo, ripped through Florida, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Homes were reduced to rubble, businesses were torn apart. The once familiar landscape was now scarred with debris and flooding. The impact was immediate and widespread, plunging the state into chaos and uncertainty. Millions found themselves without power, essential services were disrupted, and the long road to recovery loomed large. The storms hit in quick succession, giving residents little time to recover from the first blow before the second one landed. Helene, a powerful Category 3 hurricane, slammed into the panhandle, bringing with it high winds, torrential rain, and a dangerous storm surge. Just days later, Milton, a slow-moving but relentless storm, dumped record rainfall on central Florida, causing widespread flooding. The combined fury of these storms tested the resilience of Florida, leaving communities reeling and grappling with the enormity of the disaster. As residents emerged from the wreckage, they faced a daunting task, putting their lives back together amidst the ruins. The road ahead would be long and arduous, but the spirit of Florida, known for its grit and determination, began to shine through as neighbors helped neighbors, and the first responders worked tirelessly to bring aid to those in need. In the aftermath of the hurricanes, darkness enveloped much of Florida. Millions were plunged into darkness as power lines snapped like twigs under the onslaught of the storms. The hum of electricity, a constant in modern life, was replaced by an eerie silence, a constant reminder of the storm's destructive power. The lack of power brought immediate challenges. Refrigerators rendered useless could no longer preserve food, leading to concerns about spoilage and waste. Air conditioning, a necessity in Florida's heat and humidity, became a distant memory, making the already difficult conditions even more unbearable. The darkness brought with it a sense of vulnerability, as homes, once sanctuaries, became exposed and unfamiliar. Power companies, facing the Herculean task of restoring electricity to millions, worked around the clock. Crews from neighboring states arrived to assist, their trucks and equipment a welcome sight in the devastated areas. Progress was slow but steady. Each flicker of light restored brought a glimmer of hope to weary residents. Days turned into nights as people waited anxiously for the power to return, their lives on hold until the familiar hum of electricity signaled a return to normalcy. Don't forget to subscribe and write your comment below. As if the lack of power wasn't enough, another crisis emerged: fuel shortages. Gas stations, many damaged by the storms, ran dry as people rushed to fill their tanks, desperate to secure a precious commodity. Long lines snaked around the few stations that had fuel, with anxious drivers waiting for hours, their patience wearing thin. The shortage was a ripple effect of the power outages, as gas pumps relied on electricity to operate. The situation was further compounded by blocked roads and transportation disruptions, making it difficult to replenish supplies. The lack of fuel hampered recovery efforts, as emergency vehicles, essential services, and residents struggled to access the fuel they needed to operate. Authorities recognized the urgency of the situation and took immediate action. Fuel tankers were given police escorts to ensure their safe and speedy arrival at gas stations. The government tapped into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, releasing millions of gallons of fuel to alleviate the shortage. Mobile fuel stations were set up in hard-hit areas, providing a lifeline to those in dire need. Section 4. Rising waters, drowning hopes, flooding impedes recovery. While wind and power outages posed significant challenges, it was the relentless flooding that emerged as one of the most devastating consequences of the hurricanes, particularly in areas pummeled by Hurricane Milton's record rainfall. Rivers and lakes, swollen by the deluge, overflowed their banks, inundating homes, businesses, and entire neighborhoods. Floodwaters turned streets into rivers, making transportation impossible and cutting off communities. Homes, once safe havens, were transformed into islands, surrounded by murky, debris-filled water. The flooding hampered rescue efforts, making it difficult for first responders to reach those stranded and in need of assistance. The receding floodwaters revealed the true extent of the devastation. Homes were filled with mud and debris, their contents ruined beyond repair. Businesses were decimated, their livelihoods washed away. The stench of mildew and sewage permeated the air, a grim reminder of the long and arduous cleanup that lay ahead. The flooding, a slow-moving disaster, added another layer of misery to the already dire situation, testing the limits of human resilience.